Alright everybody, welcome back to another layout update. Obviously this one is going to be a little bittersweet because, as you saw from the title, this is going to be a very fond farewell to Hocking Valley version 2.0. So, timeline moved up a lot sooner than I thought. Pops and I are going to be leaving for Alabama literally in a couple days, so we're taking basically what we need to survive. I'm taking my tools and some locomotive projects and about 6 new freight cars. Went ahead and stopped by Charlie's and splurged a little bit. Andy helped me get Sprague set up so I can program engines, but I will have them to run at the club. So a couple new things to mention real quick. One thing to mention, this probably won't stay, but I put in the Y connection Tuesday night. I was hoping the auto reverse I ordered from Charlie would get here in time. It didn't. But that aside, the last op session went pretty well. I'll tell you the one thing I'm really proud of is that was a Walther 6.5, but I put, you can see the PCB tie there. That whole section is brand new outside stock rail. It's Atlas Code A3, but I bent it and super glued it in place and then filed it and everything. And I mean, the points fit pretty well, so I'm honestly rather impressed with myself. And of course you saw up here, I basically rebuilt all that, customized the curvature. So, I mean, that's all custom curvature up there. And then of course checked it with the NMRA gauge to make sure it was straight. So, but you got the Y, and that's loose for now. Otherwise, it goes right there. And that's a Gap Master sawn in half, by the way. I love it. You can hardly tell. Especially if you look at it from up top, you can barely tell it's cut. So, I impressed the layout did. I will admit it ran very, very well. The only derailment was a loose turnout point and one slight short, but other than that, it ran fine. So I know it runs awesome. The other two sections where all that stuff is, they are, as of right now, they're dismantled, and well, you can't really see them, but they're stashed back there, along with all the legs and some stuff here. I've got a couple pieces right there that I'm gonna put on here and use as end plates for the module sections, but obviously that's going to have to wait a couple months until we find a house and move in and have room to put this. That's really horrible circumstances, obviously. But the one benefit is I did some calculating, and it's 10 foot from there all clear across to there. And then it's 14 from here straight across. If I can get 13 foot from here to here and 25 foot from here to there, I've got enough room to use what I have. In other words, use this, widen up the walkways by another foot on all 3 sides, so that it'll be 3 foot over there, 2 foot here, 3 foot here, which will make everything a whole lot easier. And then on top of that, I would probably have enough room back here. Imagine, that's not there, but imagine right in here for probably a 6.5 foot diameter helix, which would make the other decks so much easier. So, I mean, like I said, obviously horrible circumstances, but I guess that's the silver lining. So, like I said, I'm taking projects and stuff. There is a club down there. The rest of this is just gonna have to stay the way it is. But so, I'll pan around here and give you one last look. But staging over there, you come in. This is a Y connection. This was basically, that's eastbound over there. This is westbound, so that's to Athens, and from Athens this would be to Columbus, and from Columbus. And even if I do use this existing thing, I think I'll keep this because I have to admit that track provides a very convenient sneak off for the for a coal mine or the sawmill local or something like that. And I'll probably just splice in like a number 6 left hand right here or something. So it is what it is. The caveat is this section will have to be rebuilt. I would like to basically, if I move this up and raise the workbench height 3 inches, I can make this whole curve here more like a 22 on the inner and probably a 28 on the outer. And I'll just replace that with another Walters turnout or one of those new Atlas curved. So, yeah, it'll get rebuilt, but what the heck. The point is, I'm much more chance I'll find a spot where I can use this. But, coming along, engine terminal area, I was in the middle rebuilding this, so this would bump out. I got enough room for the turntable, at least, and some engine storage tracks. This would be where the coal and water would be, sand and everything else. Old Town Yard, in reality, was they needed a new one about 1915, so they built a much larger Logan. I need both of them. I use this for coal. You got General Electric at the back, TOFC track. What was I going to make that industry? I can't remember. There were 3 other industries actually in Logan, but main line up front here, sign on the rear. Signs use a switch lead. You got street crossing. Never mind the gigantic foam hill. Actually, it goes in the corner over there where that chest is, but yeah. That is residential downtown. This doesn't go here, it goes somewhere else. And this is just empty space. This would be a caboose track under here. I'll just lift this up real quick. Caboose track, going from right to left, you have your main, your siding, an abandoned track, yard track 1, yard track 2, yard track 3, and you've got a switch lead for that spur slash caboose track slash house track. But coming along again, you've got the eastern junction where the siding ends. You've got the throat for the switch lead. This spur will be a combined for the lumber company and the oil supply company. So pipe parts, elbows, tees, so boxcars, flats, gonds. And then of course you've got your switch lead connection out to your main and your switch lead. That goes under. Eventually it's going to go to right there. And then of course you got your connection into staging. And then you come around and round it out. You've got your 3-track staging yard. These 3 tracks are run to toggles on the panel down there, so you can turn them off. The 4th is live because originally that was the main. I don't know. I might make that staging track down the road. I might make it a continuous run connection. I really don't care at this point because that's the last thing on my mind. I've got stuff to take on and a club to run it at down there, so I'm going to survive. And then, of course, the underside is just crammed with stuff. I tell you, I do admit, I hate having to leave a bunch of the electronics here, like the Digitrax system, all the electronics on there, the PSX circuit breakers and hex frog juicers, but it's a small town. I highly doubt something's going to happen. And yes, the electronics are expensive, but by the time you consider the cost of a locomotive and putting a sound chip in it and lights and weathering, it's not an easy choice. But if I have to pick, then you know what? I would rather save the equipment versus the electronics. So it's both. But so yeah, that's really a last look at the layout. Next thing I want to address, channel content. There will not be as much content as usual, but there will not be absolutely no content either. Like I said, there's a club down there. So there will be that. There will be workbench updates probably every 2 months instead of 1 month at least, because it's just going to take me a while to get enough stuff to make it worth doing a video. Obviously, rail fanning. Airsoft, there's an airsoft field down there. I'm really looking forward to getting into that. And then the other thing, volunteering at the local railroad museum and short line. So that, and then of course Huntsville is exploding. So there's a big old NASA research lab slash museum, rocketry and space museum down there, and I'm sure there's just going to be dozens of other things and little, antique malls and museums and knick-knack places to look over, which is going to be fantastic. Um, just so a little more variation in content and a little bit of a slowdown on the train stuff, but again, there will be content. I won't be completely off. But in terms of specifically a layout update, my personal layout, in terms of that specifically, yes, this will be the last one for 3 or 4, maybe even 5 months, however long it takes us to find the place. Hence why I call this a fond farewell to Hocking Valley 2.0. Last thing I want to mention, I want to do a shout out to the new subscribers. I want to thank you so much for subscribing, even when it looks like there ain't nothing in the way of content. And there probably won't be anything for a couple weeks because we gotta get down there. I gotta get my workbench set up and kind of, get a makeshift studio set up and make sure all the files are computers organized, files are where I need them, and then I'll start back in making some content. So, but anyways, shout out, extra huge shout out to JJL Gravy, Railfan 220. You know who you are. Y'all were some of my first subscribers, and you've kept up. Extra huge shout out to Jordan. He and I have gotten to be very, very good friends. But what else? You know what? I guess I just to thank you. Those of you who don't know, and that's probably most of you, I actually started this channel with no intention of sharing it with, I didn't mind if people watched it, but the whole reason I started the channel was my aunt down in Georgia and Texas, one down in Georgia, one down in Texas, wanted to see my videos. And I'm like, okay, instead of sending them tons of emails with all these mega video files, I'll just do YouTube. Actually started out Dropbox, and I got about 3 videos, and then they wanted me to pay for more space. I'm like, nope. So I went with YouTube, and that's where I started. And then apparently I got something y'all like because y'all had been watching. So thank you for that. I didn't think I would get much past 3 or 4 family members, let alone up to 207 as of last night, something like that. So but so bittersweet. You know what? It's been an awesome journey. Thank you all for joining me. A little bit of an interlude here, but still with some content, and hopefully y'all can join me in 5 or 6 months once we find a place, and for the start of Hocking Valley version 3.0. So yeah, once again, just thank you everybody for joining the journey on this version layout. Don't worry, there will be version 3.0, and as soon as we get into space, I'll do a track plan reveal, and that will commence the start of regular updates. So as far as layout updates, a very fond farewell, and for the last time, for a little while at least, this is Goose and the Caboose Productions saying it. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. Everybody take care, God bless, and thank you for joining me on the journey. I'll see you on version 3.0.